Good afternoon then, and welcome to Thrum Hall, Halifax, this second round of the Regal Trophy. Early afternoon kick-off to avoid the troubles down in the town centre with the football game, with West Bromwich Albion being present in the town as well. But I think the most contentious of all about this tie has been the flu bug that's gone straight through the Keighley camp during the last week. Very, very difficult to raise a side up here for this afternoon. Players having got off the sick bed, really being coerced into playing, pressed against into a situation where under normal circumstances they wouldn't have been playing, and doctor's certificates being absolutely no good as far as the Rugby League were concerned. They said the game will go ahead regardless, even if you have to go to the local amateur clubs to get your players. Not the best of conditions for the Keighley side to prepare under. Nonetheless, they're here. They've got the good team out this afternoon. We wait and see how long they'll last before some of the players possibly blow up under the pressure that they'll be under. The side this afternoon then for Keighley at fullback Wayne Race, John Vassalou, Nick Pinkney, Greg Austin and Mark Milner, the three quarters. Keith Dixon and Darren Appleby in the half-back pairing. Brendan Hill, Jason Ramshaw, Joe Grimmer, Carlton Farrell, Ian Gately and Martin Wood in the forwards. And John Walker and Walker and Steve Hall the substitutes. For Halifax this afternoon, its full-back is Steve Lay. Half-backs, three quarters, John Bentley, John Schuster, Graham Hallis, Mark Preston, and in the half-back position, Michael Hagan and Paul Bishop. The forwards, David Boyd, Roy Southernwood, Gary Lord, Michael Jackson, Lee Harland and Gary Devote. And the substitutes, Andy Hancock and John Fieldhouse. The referee this afternoon, a change again. It should have been Paul Volanti. It's Ian Ollerton. Halifax won the toss. Keighley to kick off with the sun at the backs. Deep into the bottom corner there. The ball going back there by Bishop, not taking it because of the sun, I suspect, and that's good pressure there from Keighley. Joined on the gantry up here by Malcolm Reilly, who's just thrown coach Peter Rowe off the gantry, saying it's not the facility for the opposition, and Halifax penalised there in the early minute for holding down in the tackle. And I think possibly, Darrell, we will see John Vassalou here going for goal.
Hope so, John. Yes, he is. He's indicated he's going for goal. A couple of early points, settle Keighley down with a bit of luck.
And certainly all against the odds, as we've said before in the introduction to the game, against the odds for Keighley as far as they're concerned, with the medical problems, and that situation not helped by the statements made in the Halifax press by the Halifax coach Mal Reilly, saying that Keighley really ought to get on with the game and forget the fact that they've got this problem. One wonders what will happen after today if the front row of Keighley completely smittle the front row of Halifax with the flu bug. We'll see what Mr. Reilly has to say about that at a later time, no doubt. In the meantime, it's John Vassalou as the ball just falls over. He's got this penalty kick some 15 metres in from touch. It's on the right side of the field as far as he's concerned. And certainly a healthy crowd here at Thrum Hall in spite of the early afternoon kick-off. The weather bright and sunny, as you can see, but a very, very strong wind indeed blowing. It looks good. It's hanging in the wind. It doesn't hang though, and in fact a drop out under the post there. That ball hanging very, very much in the wind, so obviously Keighley kicking against the wind as Bishop takes that ball very, very quickly, uses the wind, kicks down to the bottom side of the field. Good kick indeed. It's taken eventually by Wayne Race. The posse of the Halifax defence coming up to challenge Race as he breaks away back towards the 10 metre line from the halfway. Mark Milner going on his own, but wrapped up there by number 11 Michael Jackson on that 10 metre line. Brendan Hill driving in, but certainly the Halifax front row well aware of Brendan Hill's capabilities, and they'll be certainly keeping an eye out for him. Joe Grimmer taking the ball in just short of the halfway line, still in the Keighley half of the field. Carlton Farrell this time driving in straight to the arms of Lee Harland. It's the last tackle indicated by Mr. Ollerton. Down for Keith Dixon to put the ball downtown again. A good kick well put up there by Dixon. And it's Halifax now bringing the ball back to their own 20-metre line. Open plays the ball. A couple of the Halifax players wearing the head guards. We shall certainly sort out who they are. Hookers, no doubt. Good tackle there by Brendan Hill on Gary Lord. Certainly welcome him into the game. It's the two Halifax props, in fact, who are wearing the head guards. That's the last tackle, still 11 metres inside the Halifax half of the field. And again, it's the prompting kick by Bishop. Down into that 20-metre line. Wayne Race running across, getting away from the tacklers. Eventually brought to ground some 30 metres from his own try line. Ball moving up this slope here. Keith Dixon, in fact, being adjudged to have knocked that ball on. And Charlie Tidball, the touch judge, in on this side. Just a little bit of ill feeling coming in there between the Halifax player and the Halifax players and the former Halifax centre. Now the ball's just been changed. I don't know why, but it's obviously been changed on instructions from the man on our left on the gantry. And in fact, Malcolm really instructing the bench to keep the ball on the field that's on at the moment. So there's obviously something special about it. As the ball goes out there to Steve Lay breaking into the Keighley 20-metre area. Martin Wood doing the tackling as Bishop switches play up this slope. Hagan in the line. David Boyd doing the driving in there. Good tackling though as Lord drives the ball in 10 metres from the Keighley line. The Keighley defence under big pressures at the moment. A run round there, and that's Southernwood taking play right in front of the Keighley post. It's 5 metres from the line. Play going to go down the bottom side, I feel, unless Bishop's going for a drop goal. He does. Percentage rugby there, Darrell. 1 point in the area, but I don't know whether Halifax might be panicking. I think I might have been trying to run that ball down to the bottom corner myself.
Thought it was a good decision there, John. First time they've attacked and they've got a point. Come out with a point after first attack. You can't argue with that.
That point coming then 5.5 minutes into the first half. The first points on the board then to Halifax. And certainly that's the sort of position that Halifax relish in when Bishop's in front of the post. Always the man who's going to go for a drop goal. That ball hanging again in the wind. Bishop having all on to get to it. Devote driving the ball in 30 metres out. Gets up, plays the ball. Southernwood hands on outside there to prop David Boyd. 10 metres from the halfway line. Boyd going on his own, gives it to his opposite number, Gary Lord. He gets to the halfway line, but it's Brendan Hill doing the tackling, and Bishop puts the ball down there. It's Hagan who puts the ball high towards that bottom corner. That this time going to go into touch, finds touch. It'll be a scrum down 10 metres from the Cougar line. And the way the flag's blowing in that bottom corner of the field, indicating that the wind is actually blowing in favour of Keighley, but I think when the ball gets up in the air we find something considerably different at the other end. Swirling, I think, is possibly the best description of the way the wind's blowing, certainly in that corner. Out then at the back, it's Appleby bringing the ball away. Tackle there by Hallis. Dixon on to Martin Wood. Martin Wood going nowhere though. There, Michael Jackson doing the tackling, and it's Ramshaw out to Keighley. Keighley stepping back in to the same area where the ball's just come from. And certainly Halifax coming up very, very quickly, but Hill manages to get the ball away. Appleby now out there to Milner. Milner's got the pace. If he can get it away, that's Pinkney going up the wing. Hallis make a total mess of the tackle there. And the ball coming inside. All on, says the referee. It's Appleby doing the chasing. Bentley gets the ball. He needs tackling over the line. He put a foot over that back line, I'm sure there, but not so. He's gone right the way across the try line area. Good clearing run there by John Bentley, but really, he was very lucky not to have been pulled for having put a foot on that back line, I feel sure. Difficult though to see from the angle up so high, but stealing the ball there, I think. Difficult to see, and Darrell, you had a clearer view.
Yeah, Joe ripped it out there, John.
Mr. Ollerton, the referee, seeing that and just stopping the clock a moment while Paul Bishop gets back. In fact, is he looking for a blood bin or a... Certainly stopped the clock. He wipes the clock back on again now then as Bishop puts this ball into touch just below us here, about 5 metres inside the Keighley half. A good touch finding kick from his own 10-metre line. Southernwood then getting the ball away to Lord. Lord well met by Hill once more. Hill crawling all over him but getting away with it. Devotee almost through the tackles there, and it's Southernwood once more taking the ball across field. It's in the hands of David Boyd this time inside the Keighley 20-metre area. Halifax once more pressurising this Keighley line as Bishop handles the ball onto Hagan. Hagan looks to get through the middle and looks for the options to his left and right before accepting the tackle. Ball being played out then to Lord. Lord knocked on there. Did Keighley regather? In fact, yes, John Vassalou, the player who doing the regathering. Ian Gately in possession now, taking the play across the centre of the park. Running down this slope at Thrum Hall, sloping away from us as we look at the field. Grimmer then driving the ball in, pushes away the first tackle but brought down by the second pair. Brendan Hill now taking it in, looking, struggling, going. He's going to play a big game this afternoon, I feel sure. Halifax rejected this big number 8. And that's a good kick over the far side by Dixon, but the Keighley defence need to be on station over there if they're going to prevent Bentley coming away. Preston, I beg your pardon. Right. Well, a bit of a stuttering run there from the Halifax player, hidden underneath the depth of those Keighley tacklers. Well, Joe Grimmer certainly handed handed down the man on the second tackle. Well, certainly Malcolm Reilly, the Halifax coach, not happy about what's going on now.
John, it's an attack, that. She's trying to play it.
Malcolm Reilly certainly wanting to attack the Keighley line, and I think probably Darrell is going to be right in his decision, having a go just inside your own half. I know the wind's behind him, but he's no superstar kicker. He's got to get the ball dead, if nothing else, hasn't he?
Yeah, if not, he gives the ball back to Keighley, which is what they don't want to do. Keighley wants it, obviously. You know, we want the possession. It's looking a good kick. He's got the height. He's gone dead.
The ball's gone dead, so Halifax do get the ball back, but certainly negative as far as Halifax was concerned. That certainly would have liked to have seen them run that ball, and I'm sure the fans would have liked to have seen it as well. As it is, they went for the 2 points, they didn't get them, and the only thing they do is get the ball back from this dropout on the 20. Lord running into 3 Keighley tacklers there. Ramshaw, Carlton Farrell and Darren Appleby getting back into the defensive line as Halifax now spin this ball across field. Bentley coming into the centre of the park, gets the ball out to this top wing, and Schuster in possession now, going through, but being tackled on the Keighley 20-metre line. Greg Austin doing the tackling on that occasion. Bishop spins it across to Hagan. Hagan finds a lovely forward pass there. So far forward it was nearly in the stand. Mr. Ollerton on station to see it.
Referee was in an excellent position there to say that, John. He stood right in line, no hesitation, blow straight up.
Scrum then forming on the 20-metre line. It's Keighley to feed. Darren Appleby, the man with the ball in his hands, out the back of the scrum. Hallis looked to have crept a bit offside there as Milner on that wing there. Certainly got some speed again. He threw the ball in field there. Regathered by Steve Lay for Halifax. Certainly would have done better with hanging on to that ball, because I don't think Nick Pinkney was in a position to have taken it. And Jason Ramshaw striking for that ball. The referees penalise him, but in all honesty, he stuck for the ball with his foot, He made contact and then dived after it. Now, is that wrong?
You have to dive into the tackle, John. You're not allowed to dive into the tackle. What he says, he didn't touch the ball with his foot first. He dived in after it.
Okay. And the ball pushed into the Keighley 20-metre now, some 15 metres out. There's the ball quickly on, and Keighley's defence not really settled there. Brendan Hill diving through, but what we're going to see here, I would think that he's got to give a same decision there again, Daryl.
No, he's giving a knock on, John.
Well, that's two decisions there, totally different to each other, and yet the same thing. I would have said a penalty to Halifax in that case.
No, what he said is Halifax knocked on, not Keighley.
Well, we take your word for it. The ball coming away towards the 20-metre line. Appleby, the man, tackled there, and in fact, Halifax this time, Graham Hallis penalised for laying on. And that's a pressure relieving penalty for Keighley. Keith Dixon will be looking for that touchline on the far side. In fact, he's not only found touch, he's probably found the road as well. Ramshaw. Ian Gately driving in straight into the receiving arms of Gary Lord. Slowly to his feet. Nowhere in this world was the defensive line 10 metres back. Ramshaw going on his own from acting half this time, gets to the halfway line before being tackled, and it's Farrell at acting half back this time. Martin Wood shaped as if to kick, but decided he was going to run the ball. Just breaks into the Halifax half of the field as Gately now onto Hill. Every time Hill gets the ball, there's 3 Halifax players around him or in attendance. And the left boot of Pinkney just putting that ball into touch on the far side of the field, some 30 metres out. Daryl, we've had 10 minutes almost of this first half. The scoreline 1-0 at the moment. In fact, my watch has probably stopped. It has. "16 minutes, in fact, to the first half, Daryl. Certainly Keighley making good account of themselves at the moment.
Yes, John, I think they could have had a couple of tries down that far side. Mark Milner's causing Preston some problems. He's handing him off, not so much with his pace, he's handing him off and then leaving him. So if Keighley keep attacking down that side, we might see some points from there.
Lee Harland then, the fair-haired Lee Harland tackled, and Southernwood turned out there to the wing there to Bentley. Bentley tackled though on this touchline side, plays the ball to Schuster. Schuster gets it into Bishop. Bishop moving across quickly, looked a bit forward by Devotee, but it's back to Schuster now. And Halifax just going round in circles, throwing the ball anywhere. And in fact, Halifax given a forward pass, but the signal looked to be offside.
It's a similar signal, John. It's forward pass offside. I don't think it's with the offside. It's at shoulder height and above. The forward pass, it's down from the waist, pointing that way.
And a penalty there by the referee, Mr. Ollerton, on Wayne Race, and again Schuster for tackling in the head area. Schuster pleading to the referee, in fact, that it was on the chest. The referee is the man with the whistle, and he's the man who's going to make the decision. Joe Grimmer just slowing things down to some tune and getting the wrath of the crowd, whilst he actually tells his players what he wants them to do. I was surprised Mr. Ollerton allowed him to get away with that, but he did. Gately taking the ball up to the halfway line. Ball just delayed slightly there. Appleby delaying it and causing more confusion to his own players than the Halifax defence. And it's Brendan Hill again, bursting across the halfway line. It takes 4 Halifax players to bury him. In fact, you could hardly see him under the mound that went down on top of him. Martin Wood gives the ball out there to Austin. Austin's going, but he's well tackled there. And Hallis pushing him down again. That's got to be a penalty there with the way Hallis does it. He does it. His discipline's terrible, is Graham Hallis. He's always doing that. Gives away penalties in silly positions, and I think really lucky to get away with that one. As Austin searches for the touchline on the far side, he does find it. It's on the 20-metre line. It'll be a Halifax feed. The Keighley support going up round the field as the ball comes out the back of the scrum. Goes back, says the referee. Martin Wood drops back on standoff Michael Hagan, who made an absolute breakfast of that. It may well have been Preston, I don't know. It's difficult to see, not knowing the Halifax players by sight, more by number at the moment, that is. Harlan driving the ball in, coming up in this top touchline area. Well put down there, 30 metres out from his own line. Keith Dixon moving off the mark very quickly. Dixon there, I beg your pardon, Paul Bishop seen, in fact, the fullback might have been a bit out of station. The defence kicking down to that bottom corner. Wayne Race eventually taking the ball. And the Keighley defence slowing, coming back. Mark Milner driving up. Bishop just having a word to the referee there, suggesting perhaps that Brendan Hill was shepherding as he walked back, or was being used anyway. Ian Gately breaking into the Halifax half of the field, being assisted back to the floor again. Hagan this time, the person responsible. And I think, as I said earlier, Darryl, I think Hallis would consider himself lucky to have got away with a similar thing a few moments earlier.
Yeah, John, he's quite keen on it, is Ian? You know, and he does right. Stops the game from flowing if people are being held down in tackle. Eventually, penny will drop with these players and they'll stop doing it.
Ramshaw then on the 20-metre line. Big Brendan driving the ball in. Inside the Halifax 20 as Ramshaw gets it across to Grimmer. Grimmer hits the wall of tacklers and turns as he gets tackled. Ramshaw once more waits patiently at acting half. Carlton Farrell this time driving towards those Halifax posts. 2 or 3 metres up, it needs to go fast down the field and test the Halifax sliding defence as Ramshaw bursts in through the gap at acting half back. Elementary mistake there by the Halifax defence. The gap was only a half one, but Ramshaw saw it, and Ramshaw above all will be happy to do it because he was discarded here at Halifax, Darryl, as a young promising 20-year-old.
Yes, it's a good try that, John. He saw the gap, like he said, should have gone out the bottom end. Keith looked like they could have had numbers out the far side. The Halifax realised it, started to move that half a yard too soon. Jason saw the hole and dived in. Good try, good thinking that.
I certainly expected it to be spun down to the bottom side, and I'm fairly sure probably the Halifax defence expected the same. They were ready to slide quickly, and they slided just that little bit too quick. Jason Ramshaw saw the hole, and through he went. John Basilou now from right in front of the post. His last attempt at goal being held up in the wind. We shall see what happens with this one. Safely through the middle of the post. 6 points to 1. Keighley in the lead. Some 23 minutes on the clock. Bishop then, deep kick into the Keighley try area, over the top of Keith Dixon. Carlton Farrell left to have to take up the sweepings, runs across but eventually brought down on the 10-metre line there. Looked as though the tackler was Michael Jackson. And it's a good break out there by Wayne Race once more, as delayed pass out to Martin Wood onto this top side of the field, still on the 20-metre line. Brendan Hill again, almost released Greg Austin, not quite, just looked for Greg Austin there. It had been half set up, Greg unable to take it, apologises to Brendan because the ball going into touch, John Basilou being unable to stop it, and Bishop feeds that scrum. Well taken there, and Bentley missed it. Dixon gets on to Austin. There's a flopper there by Hagan, going unpunished again as Gately now going on the bottom side. Nick Pinkney's there, but it's Jason Ramshaw, the man getting to the ball, as Appleby. Oh, he slapped across the top, and again a flopper there, but being allowed to get away once more. This is Joe Grimmer taking play into the Halifax half of the field. Ramshaw once more, Appleby gets the ball out to Wood. Wood skips and dances, goes through the hole, but can't release the ball in the... He does in fact release it, but it's a forward pass. Mark Milner just swooping on it. And I think, Darryl, really, if Keighley just apply safety or and not too much enthusiasm in this attack, there's more tries to score for them.
I think there is, John, yeah. You know, the gap's there out wide. We don't have to beat the man before passing. You know, sometimes we're getting the overlap and we're not using it enough. You know, I think we pass out, basic passing out wide and try taking them on outside.
Schuster then coming in, gets to the halfway line, but well wrapped up there by Dixon and Farrell. Bishop again moving the ball out. It's Lord, tackled 7 or 8 metres inside the Keighley half. Joe Grimmer down there, eventually gets back up as the number 12, Lee Harland. The ball coming upfield for Halifax, switches back inside there to Jackson. Again a flopper there going unpunished, so the referee's taking no notice either way as Hagan puts the ball up on the instructions. Mark Milner's under it, but he's going to allow it to go dead, and well judged just. Certainly a good kick there though, Dal, wasn't it?
Excellent kick that, John. Mark were a bit dodgy, a bit lucky to get away with it.
Brendan Hill then a good 10-metre drive once more by this heavyweight prop of Keighley's. Gately taking it in, running in the second row this afternoon, been playing in the up front in the opening games of the season. Carlton Farrell now driving in, and certainly the two Keighley second rowers getting through a tremendous amount of work. Run round there with Appleby and Ramshaw, but Ramshaw left with nowhere to go or to pass the ball to. Gets to his feet eventually. Dixon now pumps the ball up to this top side into the arms of Bentley. Bentley not taking it cleanly. He'll go on one of his crossfield runs, or prove me wrong, and come back up this side, but he ain't going anywhere. Oh, and he can't give up. Well, that tackle was never made in this wide world. Bentley got up to run again, and had he not been knocked down, he'd have gone on with that ball, Darryl, I feel sure.
I do and all, John.
That tackle was never made.
No, that was a bad decision there by Mr. Wallerton.
And that's an even worse kick, is it? That's an even worse kick, my words. Halifax given a gift of a penalty there, and they make an absolute meal of it and put it dead. But it's a dropout because, in fact, because it was a penalty.
Yes, it's a dropout because it was a penalty.
Well, I think the only thing that Halifax get consolation from there, and they don't really deserve it, is they get the ball back. Very unprofessional kick that by Halifax. Devotee, there was the hole on the far side. Hallis was sniffing in it, but Devotee not giving the ball out. More intent on probably bringing it back into the centre of the park. And Keighley caught offside.
They're thinking a lot quicker now at Halifax. Right there, where the referee gave the penalty, the ball was brought to the spot very quickly. Could have had a quick tap. They're playing the ball a lot quicker. They're moving around a lot quicker than Keighley are at the moment.
I think really that's the difference between the first and second division, Darryl, isn't it? Is the speed with which the first division teams think. and move around.
Yeah, I think it is, John. That's the big difference. It's, like you say, it's pace and power, but the thinking pace is a lot quicker. Yard faster in thinking.
Bishop then attempting to convert this penalty, but the ball falling off the mound of sand. Just short of the half hour then, as Bishop once more settles that ball. Referee restarts the clock. Oh, dearie me. Well, from a very, very simple position, Paul Bishop once more lets Keighley off the hook. A bad mistake in the earlier on in the first half, where he refused to go for take a tap or go for touch just inside his own half, opted to go for goal and missed. A bad penalty take and a bad goal conversion take, and that ball gone into touch from the Dixon drop out. It's Bishop who'll be feeding this scrum once it sets. Mr. Ollerton just having a bit of difficulty at the moment, and he's penalising Keighley for not packing down correctly. Certainly Joe Grimmer not happy with the decision. Just got to get back in that line, Joe, and defend. You can't change the referee's mind. Well, you can. He might put you in the bin for arguing, or take you at least another 10 yards. Halifax number 10, Gary Lord, taking the play into the Keighley 20, switch to Bishop and into cross, but in fact Hallis are guilty of shepherding there. I thought it was a bit harsh. In fact, Dal, you comment as well.
Yeah, it looked a bit harsh, that, John, but says the referee sees it, he must have thought the players were a bit closer together than what they appeared towards up here.
Dixon then puts the ball safely into touch over the top of that stand, and probably over the top of the next row of houses as well on that one. Gately driving in, bouncing off the tacklers there. And look at the offside there, the Halifax defence almost in the line, but they've left the holes. Dixon gets the ball out to Austin. Austin's going up this wing side, but he's well tackled by Schuster. But the Halifax defence almost in the Keighley line there and creating themselves the difficulties as Pinkney goes now. Pinkney's still going, Milner gets in his way, but Pinkney's been tackled 30 metres out and been driven back another 4 or 5. Gately onto Appleby. Appleby gets the ball, but Ramshaw was in fact in front. It would have been forward had he taken it, I'm sure, as it is. Mr. Ollerton telling the Keighley defence to get back. He's certainly watching the Keighley line, but my words, he wasn't watching the Halifax line a moment or two ago. Gary Lord tackled 10 metres inside his own half. The only thing that concerns me, Daryl, is that Keighley have put all this in. They've had this flu bug during the week. They've put everything into this first half, and I suppose a lot's going to depend how much they've taken out of themselves in this first half before they start blowing in the second half.
They're still in front, John, they won't be blowing.
And certainly been on the wrong end of the referee's whistle as well in the first half. Not saying it's right or wrong, but there's certainly the penalty count heavily against Keighley in this first half. Mainly from around the play of the ball. Now was that a knock on? The referee miles away from the action, he says not. Ball back inside, and Halifax got the gaps down the bottom side. Hagan decides he's going to take it in himself, shuts everything down, helps Keighley get the defensive line right again. And Bishop now trying all he knows to get this Halifax attack going. Last tackle, Southernwood puts a chip over the top there for the corner. Wayne Race opting to put the ball dead. Actually took the ball over his own try line, opted to take it. I think I might have tried to make a yard back and try to take advantage of 6 tackles, then put the ball downtown, Darrell.
Possibly, John, but I feel sure other players would have been telling him that there were men on chasing him down, closing him down, so safety first.
Dixon then puts the ball high, the ball hanging in the wind as Bishop takes it, brings it across there to Harland. Harland coming up the top side of this Thrumhall field. Greg Austin tackling like a demon there, being pushed away by Jackson, and it's Devotee driving in now for Halifax. Rolls over, gets up eventually. Southernwood gets the ball from between the legs of the Keighley defence. Bishop going on his own. That's got to be forward. Mr. Ollerton again on line. I think Bishop would have done well to go on his own there, Daryl, instead of to try give it inside.
I thought he was going on his own, John. Nick Pinkney were coming across. Well, then Nick had got there before he got to the try lines to battle, but he passed and looking for Keighley, it was forward.
It's only 10 metres to go, Daryl, and surely he's got enough puff and pace to manage 10 metres to give it a try.
Yes, I thought it'd have gone.
As it is, it's Appleby getting the ball out of that scrum. Bishop round quickly to stop his progress. Ward on to Race. Race driving away down that bottom side. 34 minutes plus stoppages as Appleby once more endeavours to get the play out of his own half of the field. Gately injured there. Just going down as Grimmer takes the ball in. He gets one in the face for his troubles off the arm protector of Gary Lord. Grimmer in turn swinging an elbow as well as Dixon now looks for a way through, sees the hole, gets off to Brendan, but Brendan not able to take it. He is quick, but he's not that quick. Oh, and a knock on there, surely by Bishop. The referee says back, and that's appalling. I don't think, in fact, Darrell just mentioning off microphone, Darrell, you mentioned it.
Yes, he said that all day, John. Whenever they've lost the ball, it looks like it's gone back at all. He's given benefit of doubt. He hasn't given a knock on once yet for those sort of things.
10 metres then inside the Keighley half once more as Hagan gets the ball, and it's Dixon though into the interception. Unfortunately not able to take it, and a substitute for Keighley, Joe Grimmer coming off, Steve Hall going on. And certainly Joe Grimmer's putting 120% in this first half, and I think probably Brendan just looking a bit for instructions to the side there. Keighley pushing the ball, coming straight back out though, out of the tunnel the same way it went in there, Darrell.
Yeah, it never really got in properly. Hey up. Knocked on by Halifax, down we go again.
Oh, and Bentley showing dissent on this side. I mean, that's surely not on. What on earth has John Bentley got to show dissent for? He was nowhere near it. I feel sure if that had been a man on the street, he'd have had him in his little black book and the truncheon up his back. Dixon out to Wainwright, but Wainwright spilling the ball, and another, and again you see Halifax getting away again. There was two knock-ons there. Should have had a scrum with Halifax feeding, but no, not says the referee. The crowd at the far side just a bit incensed about something that went on in that tackle as Halifax moving the ball upfield. And it looks like Hagan there shutting the job down in the centre of the park. Brendan Hill being penalised for not allowing him to get up. And, we wait to see now what Dixon does. Bishop does. Again opting to go for goal in spite of the instructions going down to go for the bottom corner and go for the 4 points. Obviously the communication between the Gamsa here from the coach and the field, because it is going down to the bench, Darrell, but it's not going to the field, and you can see why, can't you?
Yes, Bishop ain't looking at all. As soon as the referee's given a decision, he's deciding what he's going to do, and that is it. You know, he's not looking for any instructions from the bench, he's just giving it himself.
30 metres out then, straight in front. 36 or 7 minutes on the clock. And it looks good, it's through the middle this time, and I suppose Bishop's decision justified on that occasion. 6 points to 3 then, still in Keighley's favour, that Jason Ramshaw tried the difference. As Dixon then once more restarts. That ball's high, it's in the sun once more. And the Halifax players can't make their mind up who's going to go for it. Eventually it's Hallis who gets it, but he's going to be driven towards the touchline side. Steve Hall put them all on side, but Darrell.
Steve Hall got there, John. Why didn't Nick Pinkney and Mark Milner?
Probably expecting the referee to tell them they're offside. I don't know, but they can't be offside from the kickoff. Schuster then puts, Hagan rather, putting the ball downfield. Sees that the Keighley defence is, although the fullbacks there, Wayne Race and 3 Halifax players doing the tackling. Bentley, the one eventually doing the finishing off. John Basilou ducking underneath the tackle of Bentley and certainly been worked over by Bentley as well in the tackle. As Gately now driving the ball out, but almost 30 metres out, the ball coming up to Appleby. Appleby gets the ball out to Wood. Wood onto Austin. Austin out to Basilou. And Austin taken down by Bentley off the ball after he'd parted with the ball. And in fact, Keighley penalised for crossing there. But I have to say there, Darrell, I don't know whether you saw it, but when Greg Austin parted with that ball, John Bentley never even interested in where it was going. He took Austin out.
Yeah, he realised that Greg could have backed up John, so he took him out. Charlie's touch just down here, he should have seen it.
Yes, I was just going to ask you, I don't know what Mr Tidball's doing on this touchline side, but he obviously didn't see it looking forward as to where the ball was going, as to rather what was happening behind it. As Halifax now driving in towards the Keighley post once more, 15 metres out, almost on half-time, or the allocated 40 minutes, as Bishop spins the ball up. Schuster out to Lay. Lay gets the ball out to Bentley. Bentley's John, but the ball knocked down there and knocked backwards by Keighley. Well regathered by Steve Hall. Good pressure there by the the Keighley defence on the Halifax attack, and equally well covered when the ball went free. Martin Wood being tackled in front of his own post, 10 metres away from them. Ramshaw going on his own. Discards the opposition hooker. He's lost his scrum cap in the fray. There's 2 scrum caps in fact on the field. Oh, and a flying arm going in there on half-time by the number 8, David Boyd. He's certainly let fly with a fist on Brendan Hill there. There's a bit of a flurry going on, Dal. Did you see that one going?
I didn't, John. I was just trying to see what Halifax defence, how they were going to organise themselves there. Because at times they were leaving gaps, so we're just trying to see if they were going to leave a gap again. Charlie's going to have a word with him now.
Well, certainly it shouldn't be Brendan Hill he's having a word with. It should be the Halifax number 8, because he threw the punch, but I think he's left it at that. So we go to the break then. Keighley in the lead by 6 points to 3. The Halifax team getting a right roasting from the Keighley supporters as they go off in that corner. And certainly a mistake there made by one of the coaches of Keighley, Kelvin Lockett, the academy coach. He should have been nowhere near the referee then. But the half-time score, Halifax 3, Keighley Cougars 6. For the second half about to commence, Keighley will be playing with a quite strong sun in their eyes in that bottom corner, and that's where Paul Bishop will be kicking the ball to. And I think now the referee is just going to have a quick word with the 2 number 8s for that bit of a fracas before half-time, just letting him know that he saw what went on. Any more of it and we'll be sorting you out, I think, Darrell, is what he'll be saying.
Yeah, that's it, John, just telling him keep it calm, 2 touches as well as myself, keeping the eyes on you.
So then the warning's given, the team talk's over. Referee checks with his touch judges, and away we go. Bishop kicking it, predicted into that bottom corner. Taken there, by Dixon, and Carlton Farrell uncharacteristically knocking on there. Oh dear me, that's not the sort of thing that Keighley needed. No pressure on him whatsoever. And I think we'll be looking for this ball moving quickly across the field now. Schuster does the run round. Alice going through the centre. In fact, the ball spinning out there of Hagan's hands, going backwards again, fortunately for Halifax, as Hallis gets the ball up. David Boyd taking the play into the 20-metre areas. Devoted running in, but well met there by good tackling from Steve Hall and Martin Wood. Looks as though the ball going to go down quickly now. Oh, shepherding without a shadow of a doubt. I think is that the third time Halifax has been caught and Keighley once, Darryl?
Something like that, John, yeah. It's been quite keen. It's good to see the referee blowing up for it. We've had games this season where referee haven't blown up at all, and it's been a lot worse than it has today.
Yeah, how well we remember London Crusaders. But that penalty then taking play within 10 metres of the halfway line as Gately driving in towards the halfway line. Mr. Ollerton pulling the Halifax line back. Steve Hall tucks the ball under his arm and drives in, hits the halfway whitewash. And it's Ramshaw switching play down the bottom side. Appleby going for the hole. Just not able to get through the arms there of Gary Lord. But Martin Wood almost away there, looking to offload 30 metres out from the Halifax line as Appleby gets the ball up the field. Ramshaw runs round with Dixon, but Greg Austin just getting a hand on it, not able to take it. Dixon sweeping up, but the referee are judging that the ball assisted forward before Dixon regathered. Scrum forming then some 12 metres out away from the halfway line. Bishop foraging in the back of the scrum there to get the ball. And that ball never played in this wide world, but the referee allowing it to go, and Schuster's going. Hallis takes the ball from behind. John Basilow's going after him, but nobody stops Hallis in a position like that. That's the first time Graham Hallis has had the ball in his hands, and he scores, Darryl.
Yeah, good try that, John. Yeah, the quick play the ball, like we said in the first half. Quick play the ball, caught Keighley, and then the ball out wide. The man coming through, made the gap, found the man on the inside with a good pass.
Certainly good finishing as far as Halifax were concerned, but I would question the validity of the play of the ball. I don't think Bishop played it. He certainly should get off his knees to play it, and they should play it with his foot. I would rather fancy he held that back with his hand, but you play to the whistle, and the whistle didn't go. Bishop then with a simple conversion tasked, it puts his side 9 points to 6 in the lead. That try then coming 3 minutes after the restart of the second half. Dixon putting the ball down there, right to the try line. Very well taken by the Halifax defender. That looks like Harland driving the ball away, but in fact it's not, it's fullback Steve Lay. No questioning that's Gary Lord though, as he's tackled 15 metres from the halfway line. Play switch there, but Gately unable to get through. Devote comes through, looks for the supporting play. He did have Harland on his outside. He's looking for support inside him, and a knock on there. The pass from Bishop appalling, really. Very poor pass from Bishop. Hagan having no opportunity of getting that ball, had he, Darryl?
Not at all, John. It was a bad pass. Wasn't going back far enough, and the wind was taking it away from the player all the time.
Scrum forms then on the halfway line. Appleby feeds and eventually hooked out Wayne Race breaking away there, dragged back by the collar. Struggling to get up, eventually does so as Appleby gets the ball up this top side to Martin Wood. Wood had Pinckney in support, couldn't get the ball away though. The Halifax tacklers wrapping it up firmly. Milner gets the ball in field there to Ramshaw. Ramshaw looking for a hole, but having to settle for the tackle. And this is Steve Hall driving in at that Halifax defence. Oh, a half an arm away to offload. Carlton Farrell coming up as Ramshaw gets the ball to Dixon. Dixon out to Wood. Wood looks for support inside instead of looking outside. He's got both Pinckney and Milner outside as Dixon chits to go through, but straight into the arms of David Boyd.
That should have been up floor. That kick should have been on the floor. Mackin bending for it. No chance of knocking on.
Pressure now applied on this Halifax side as they try to work their way away from their own try line, working it downfield as they go. That's the way to go for them. Keighley needs to get up and let them play, otherwise this referee will penalise them for laying on. He's certainly done so quite a number of times in the first half, telling Keighley to get back onto that 20-metre line as Halifax get up and play the ball. Harlan driving it away, but he's well tackled by Wood and Dixon. It's the last one. We'll be looking for the boot downfield here from Bishop. Bishop firmly plants it downfield into that bottom area. Wayne Race picks it up, but the ball went back and the referee is going to penalise. Now the referee allowed Halifax out all first half. The first time Keighley do it, he penalises Darrell. That's not good refereeing, surely.
No, I don't think it is, John. Probably somebody said at half time between touch judges might have said to him a few of them were knock-ons, you know, and he's thinking about it now and giving knock-ons.
Yes, one has always got to wonder though, you know. We say no more. Out there too, Bentley on that bottom wing. Bishop realising there was nobody there at acting half, eventually gets there. Halifax coming back into the centre of the park. Michael Jackson struggling to get forward, but the Keighley defenders not allowing him to go. All Keighley defence offside there, but again the referee allowing it. That ball going straight into touch. Gary Devotee putting that ball into touch on the full. The referee indicating to the players that that wasn't the last tackle. That's why we're forming a scrum. Dixon coming across field. Schuster though shepherding him all the way, finishing him down inside his own 20 area as Race coming away on his own from acting half, driving into this Halifax defence. 9 points to 6 the score. Halifax lead, 8 minutes on the clock in the second half. The Cougar roar goes up from behind the post to our right. Brendan Hill gets the ball out there, looking all the time to offload. The referee, the touch judge on the far side pointing at the play as Dixon gets the ball up to Austin. He's been well marked this afternoon as Austin. And Hallis with a hand on the shoulder again a questionable sort of thing, and that's a good kick. It's going to go dead, but it's pushed them back onto their own 20-metre line, but that's a tap restart. Keighley do not get possession from this.
Pick it up.
And it's Bentley being left to take the first drive as Halifax come up now towards the halfway line, still some 15 metres away as David Boyd plays the ball, gets it infield. That's his other prop, Gary Lord, tackled 10 metres from the halfway line. Southernwood onto Bishop. Bishop finds Harland. Harland though tackled as he attempts to go through rather than trying to move the ball wider. And it's coming back inside this time. It's Devotee this time inside the Keighley half as the arm goes up for the last tackle. And Hagan gets that. Now then, that ball hit the body. It's not a knock-on. Well, it hit the body, Darrell. There was no advantage made. I don't know what Mr. Ollerton's playing at. He's certainly doing Keighley no favours at all and giving Halifax every advantage he seems to be able to.
Well, what he did there, they want to knock on for Martin charge down. It was Greg when he dived on it. He knocked on there. That's what he's saying. When Greg dived on it, that's when he knocked on.
Okay. probably apologised to me on that occasion, but no, there's a hole through there. The shirts were hole. John Basilow's after Bentley, Mark Milner's after him, but Bentley's in. There was a hole again at the play of the ball there, at the side of the play of the ball, Darrell. From the scrum rather, I beg your pardon, not from the play of the ball, from the scrum. And the pace of the Halifax winger saying all that was needed to be said.
Yeah, good try that, John. He saw a gap, saw the hole, had the pace and the power to go through it, shrugging the tacklers off. And away he went, good try.
And so, just wondering again, as I said before half-time, Darrell, just how much effect this flu bug has had on the Keighley players and how much of their energy has been sapped away in that first half with the efforts that they put in to keep Halifax out.
Yeah, now that they're going behind, John, you know, I think Halifax might run away with it if Keighley don't dig deep into the reserves and fight the pride now. You know, they could run away with this game, could Halifax? 2 quick tries like that. The game's, 11 minutes old this half. They've got to get in now. Keighley's got to score next to be in with a shout.
Bishop then with the opportunity of making the 4 into 6. And the scoreline into 15 points to 6. Looks as though he's missed it. Nearer to the corner flag than the bottom upright. But certainly the 2 tries for Halifax coming from two of the speedsters, Hallison, Bentley, and tearing a hole in the Keighley defence that really they'd no answer for. Have to be fair though, certainly John Basilow got there, and that's a knock-on. Well, the referee eventually made it. I don't think he could see. I think it was given by Mr. Tidwell on the bottom side there, Darrell.
It appeared to be John, yes. He was very late in blowing. He couldn't see. He should see though. Should always get himself in position to see the man taking the ball from the kick-off.
I'm going to say surely the referee should have been downfield very quickly, a bit quicker than he was. He was some 35 yards away where that ball was knocked on, only just inside the Halifax half of the field as Wayne Race now takes play in. It's 15 metres out from the Halifax line. Wayne Race gets up, plays the ball. Steve Hall this time just driving his way towards the line, pushing the Halifax defenders away as he goes. It's set up now for something for Keighley as Ramshaw delayed the pass so long. In fact, Darren Appleby just seemed to move away from him as well. Dixon throws a long ball out. Picked up by Austin, dribbled forward, over the line. Nothing wrong with that at all. Halifax were asleep to the long ball, and Greg Austin took full advantage.
Yes, it was a good pass really, but Greg managed to kick it forward and follow the ball up, pick it up, go for a try. Excellent try again.
Certainly the intention of the pass was good. The execution wasn't particularly good because it did go well down. It went down to Greg's feet, and I think it was well-controlled football dribble by Greg Austin there that kept it in play, and he was quick enough to follow it through, drop on it over the line, putting Keighley into double figures. 3 points the difference. John Basilow then with a difficult conversion attempt from that bottom side of the field. It's about 9 metres in. He's got the ball down just outside the 20-metre line. He's got a swirling wind to contend with down there, and we'll see what sort of an attempt he makes. No, it's coming across. Nowhere near really. But certainly the game back in a very interesting position once more. As Darrell rightly said, Keighley needed to score again to keep themselves in it after those 2 quick Halifax tries, and we've certainly seen it. We've had 14 minutes in this second half. We've already had 3 tries. Crowd cannot possibly complain about entertainment and value for money. They've certainly had it so far this afternoon here at Drum Hall. As Bishop could well have put that out on the full, but no, it hung. Steve Hall certainly more secure in the ball that time from the kick-off than the previous occasion when Carlton unfortunately spilled. But there's Carlton Farrell, plays the ball to himself. He's got to be offside. He's either offside, is Harlan there, or it was a penalty against Keighley.
Yeah, 1-2, John. It had to be 1-2 there. Like you said, and the man tackled Carlton. He were nowhere near 10 yards back. Referee says play on.
Well, this referee could well get marked down tonight, as Martin Wood offers to get the ball out there to Wayne Race on the wing, but it's Greg Austin this time at acting half, puts the kick through into touch. Must be some sort of a tactic there, Darrell, putting that ball into touch there. I think it was the fourth tackle that we were on. Not sure what the tactic was there, because you don't get the head and feed from it.
No, I don't know either, John, because this when Halifax are most dangerous, set pieces, they've got people running all over and finding gaps.
And Bentley at acting half again, trying to go on his own, gets up, plays the ball out to Sutherland. It's Hagan now though, ball out to that bottom side. Prop Gary Lord finding himself totally isolated on that bottom wing, as it's in now to Bishop. Bishop going back outside, manages to offload there to Steve Lay. Steve Lay attacking John Basilew on that bottom wing side, but he's tackled 30 metres out from the Keighley line. Bishop again, spinning a long ball into Hagan, up there to Devorty. Devorty steps through Carlton Fallow, finds inside ball there, handed back by Hallis. Bentley gets it on, but that ball gone forward surely, and even so he missed the try area. But certainly the last pass was forward, and really there was no way at all that Halifax shouldn't have scored there. They should have scored there, shouldn't they?
Yeah, they should have had a try there, John. Yes, they had 4-2 they had there, and we still got back. Good scrambling defence by Keighley.
Mark Milner then getting the ball from the scrum half at Darren Appleby after that scrum. Gately turning in the tackle as he gets towards the 20-metre line. And Ramshaw, and this ironical cheers from the crowd as Mr. Ollerton catches Halifax offside. And I think, in all honesty, the referee's got himself to blame for this, because he's allowed both sides to creep up, and they've just been taking more and more advantage, shutting each other down, Darrell.
Yeah, that's all they do, John. Like we said last week, the referees don't take them 10 players, they'll come up and pinch yards wherever they can.
Jason Ramshaw then on to Brendan Hill. Brendan Hill bumps off the first tackler, number 10, Gary Lord. Went down as though he was a winger really there to Brendan. And Brendan throws the ball out, but in fact a knock on there. Rather strange. I wouldn't have thought that was the best idea, Brendan trying to get rid of the ball in that position. He obviously thought differently and did so. The end result though is a scrum 15 metres from the halfway line. It's Halifax head and feed, and predictably out on their side is Lay, tackled by his opposite number Race there. Still 15 metres from the halfway line as Bishop gets the ball out to Devorty. Devorty just inside that 10-metre area from the halfway line. Boyd on the halfway line this time for Halifax as Sutherland gets the ball out to Bishop. Bishop onto Hagan. Hagan looked for I thought he was looking for a long ball, but certainly he wasn't. He was looking for Schuster, but Bishop again, and it's Hallis. Hallis draws the breath, but Pinkney tackles him, gets the ball away, and the tackle though does Hallis. And Mark Milner, well, lucky to get away with that one, I think, was Mark Milner as the arm after the ball, but the ball spinning down the bottom side quickly, shoots it out to Lay. Oh, and John Basilew not able to carry that ball. Still really ought to go and pick it up, Dell, because well, the referee has now just blown, but John Basilew went for the interception, almost got it, and then when he got it, he didn't bother following the ball.
Yeah, he should have followed up there, John. You know, Halifax could have picked up the gap down his wing then, wouldn't they?
Scrum forming then 25 metres out from the Keighley line as Bishop feeds once more onto Hagan. Hagan tries to step, but he's wrapped up by his opposite number 6. Devorty running up the slope here, ready to set the move up as Sutherland spots the gap at acting half back, but his supporting player wasn't there. Gets to his feet, loses the ball. The referee looked at the touch judge. The touch judge said it was an assist out, but I don't think the referee was actually looking. He was looking at the defensive line that Keighley was setting up. He had to use his touch judge assistance on that side, but he said it was Appleby that assisted it out, Darrell.
Yeah, I looked at the me, John. Yeah, the man was on the floor and he did pull it out. Penalty.
Well, Bishop then with a chance of easing Halifax a couple of points further away from the Keighley scoreline of 10. Certainly didn't have any trouble with it, nor should he. 15 points to 10 then as Halifax lead, and we've got exactly 20 minutes on the clock in this second half. Deep kick restart then into the Halifax in-goal area once more. Hooked back there by Ramshaw and helped back. All on, says the referee, no problem. And Carlton Farrell, oh dear me, nudged referee, says it was forward. The ball went back. It's certainly, obviously, the touch judges have talked to him in the half-time break, Darrell, as you said. He let loads of those go in the first half as okay, and he's just about jumped on every single one in this second half has been a knock-on.
Yeah, that's what we'll get on about these referees. Inconsistency. Not good enough.
Alice then blowing as he looks to get away. Pinkney and Wood wrapping him up 10 metres inside his own half. Struggles to get to his feet. And it's Hagan stepping, looking for the gap as he offered the dummy out, and he's bent over backwards there by Brendan Hill. Southernwood getting the ball away there to Jackson. On the halfway line, Jackson gets up and plays the ball, but there's Southernwood and Hill having a fight here, and in fact it looks as though Ramshaw and Boyd might have been also having a do, but certainly Southernwood and Brendan Hill were having a bit of a ding-dong there on the 10-metre line. I didn't see how it started, Darrell. I was watching the ball go away. I don't know about yourself.
No, I didn't see it, John, but I saw that Southernwood were having a swing and Brendan wasn't bothering with him really. He's told him at arm's length. Then when the touch judge got there, Brendan had a swing.
I think we might see a soft option of two people in the sin bin here. The weakness of this referee and his decisions so far, I think that's exactly what we'll see, Darrell.
Yeah, I think we'll have a couple in the bin.
And he's certainly having a long discussion with this touch judge on this side, and he's calling out Southernwood and the captain as well. Well, usually when the captain's calling, and according to the book, Darrell, it's any more and you're off.
Yeah, that's probably what it will be.
Now looks as though he's going to call Brendan Hill out. And the captain as well, I think, because I think Jason Ramshaw taken over the role as captain this afternoon since Joe Grimmer left the field onto the substitute bench. We're waiting to see now. Well, is he right or is he wrong, Darrell?
Well, whatever he's doing, John, he's gone about it the wrong way. The people that you give the penalty to, you talk to last. He's deemed that we were the instigators. That were no good.
Sunwood then restarts from the kick into touch by Bishop with the tap. It's Sunwood once more onto Bishop. Bishop onto Harland. Harland though struggling forward, met on that 10-metre line. 15 points to 10 the scoreline reads in favour of Halifax. 25 minutes on the clock in this second half. Martin Wood caught one in the tackle there. Hagan, long ball out to Hallis. Hallis gets the one to Preston, but Preston going back across the field. Ramshaw missed the tackle, but it was finished off by Steve Hall in the centre. And I think, in fact, Martin Wood's caught one in the eye by the look of the way the physio's attending to him. The referee's going to just hold play up there a moment, is he? No, it's 6 tackles. I think really he ought to be holding it up because Martin Wood's in a dangerous position. But again, Mr. Ollerton just deciding to let play continue, Darrell.
Yeah, he's decided that they're not interfering. They're not on the ground, so he's letting play go.
Carlton Farrell then 10 metres from the halfway line as The arms fly as they Halifax defenders try to put him down. Ramshaw to Appleby. Appleby running round, gets the ball out there to Martin Wood. Wood doing very well to take that, considering he's just had a finger in the eye or whatever it was, and the sun also in his eyes. Oh, dearie me. That that ball going into no man's land. Fortunately, Steve Hall lying behind the line and able to sweep up for Keighley. And it's Dixon now onto Austin. Austin's dummies, goes inside, gets one around the ears from Michael Jackson, a despairing arm, not so much as an attempted tackle, as Dixon puts the ball high up, runs forward, puts them onside. He's got them onside. Martin Wood with the ball, but unfortunately can't continue, and it's a restart, and Halifax very quickly doing it. Keighley in every single one of those plays in an offside position. Greg Austin just slapping the ankle of the Halifax player, as he obviously for something. Certainly Bentley does wriggle a lot in the tackle, and he must have no doubt caught Greg with one of the studs. Hall then doing the tackling on the Halifax players as they come forward outside their own 20-metre area. Hagan now gets the ball on, but good defence so far by Keighley. Michael Jackson tackled 30 metres out from his own line, or 20 from the half, whichever way you want to look upon it. As Bishop now looks for the gap, runs across the man who he gave the ball to. Hallis getting in the way. Last tackle, says the referee. He had a man. Devote had a man. Devote had a man. Well, I'm not right sure there whether anything happened. I think perhaps Jason Ramshaw may have taken a dive. I don't know, but he certainly was pushed, that's for sure. The referee says nothing about it at all. Not bothered about what happened, because he judges that nothing happened. But Keighley now got a substitution. Carlton Farrell's come off the field. Joe Grimmer's come back on for the last 13 minutes or thereabouts. That ball then into touch. We wait for the restart. It's Keith Dixon going to do the restart in the absence of Ramshaw. Gately driving the ball into the Halifax 20-metre area. Ramshaw acting half-back, waits for the ball onto Steve Hall, but Southernwood off the mark very, very quickly there. And it's Ramshaw once more going on his own. And the ball being regathered in a tremendous amount of problem area there by Halifax. Hallis flopping on the tackle, holding down in the tackle. The referee's allowing them to get away with absolute murder in there, but as Appleby gets the ball across now, Greg Austin knocks the ball back. The referees, believe it or not, said that was all right. That ball going back again to Grimmer as Keighley reform and regather and regroup as they attack the Halifax line once more. 30 metres out, that ball going all of 40 back as Gately now tries to smash away through that defensive line. No holes for him on that time though. Ramshaw onto Hall. Keighley have the numbers if they move it, but they opt to take it through. As Hall gets up and plays it onto Ramshaw. Appleby switches play back to Grimmer. Grimmer holds off there to John Vasilo on the far side. It's the last one, says the referee. Vasilo up on his feet. The chip through there by Dixon. But I think, in fact, Brendan Hill was offside. He was in front of the kicker. Dixon put the ball through, but Brendan, in fact, had gone through from the last ball going and never recovered, had he?
No, he gone through. Brendan had gone and done with one. Keith acting half back, van behind him, then kicked. Good decision back there.
Play then restarted as Halifax get back towards that 10 from halfway. Pulsating game here at Thrum Hall. Certainly Halifax been made to graft all the way against an unfit Keighley side. Goodness knows what they'd have done had the Keighley players been 100% before this game started. Could well have been so different, but yet the game's not over by any means. There's 5 points the difference, one try, and there's 11 minutes to go. One try can make the difference for Keighley at the moment as they kick through there, and the chase, and the shepherd into touch by Wayne Race, or into over the dead ball line, I should say. And Halifax now making a substitution. Number 12, Lee Harland, coming off. And in fact, it's John Fieldhouse, the number 15. He's been in dispute with the club here at Halifax for some considerable length of time. Has apparently made up his differences, and he's getting a run now. But that was a good drop out. But Steve Lay, the Halifax fullback, taking play all the way down to that bottom side of the field. It's Lee. Ball moving up through Bishop Hagan, on then to Devorty. Devorty running, got Hallis in support, but Hallis well tackled. But it was a forward pass, in fact. Difficult to see from through all the melee of cameras up here on the gantry. Scrum will form then on that 20-metre line where the forward pass was adjudged to have taken place. Austin brings on Milner. Milner half away, but Hallis not letting him get any further. Assisted by Hagan as play switched up to the top side. Martin Wood not able to get away though. Play still 30 metres from that Keighley try line. Nick Pinkney certainly not had an opportunity to stretch his legs this afternoon. Gately taking the second arm round the neck there by Fieldhouse without a question, and laying all over. And in fact, the touch judge is in now. Darryl, you saw the prop standing on Gately's hair, didn't you?
Yeah, he looked to be doing it deliberately, John. That's a, oh no, he's pulling Fieldhouse out for something else. I thought the touch judge might have seen that, didn't.
Well, Joe Grimm has certainly listened to see what he's saying. The touch judge is saying he was rubbing the face in the tackle or whatever, the facial treatment. Ball just missing the gantry here as it put into touch by Keith Dixon. Ramshaw gets it underway again as Gately drives in once more, and again the arm going in, but again it's the man Gately doing all the work for Keighley, taking the ball in. There's the other big fella, Steve Hall. Now, Darryl, Keighley were penalising earlier for doing that, and I think in fact he has penalised Halifax, but certainly he penalised Keighley for that in the not all that long ago.
Oh. Yes, he did. He's quite correct now in Binnington. What's he doing here now? What's he pointing at? Blood bin. I want a blood bin.
Yeah, certainly Darryl thinking in fact that the possibilities of a sin being going on there. He's actually shown the blood bin card, but the physio deciding that he's going to do the treatment on the field. Number 11, it is Michael Jackson. Has John Vasilou been invited to attempt to put 2 points on and take Keighley on to 12 and bring that score just a little bit further. 7 minutes. In fact, substitute taking place. Johnny Walker coming on for Keighley. Wayne Race going off. That's interesting, is that's fullback for fullback. But I think in fact he's just having to be told about the vagaries of this Thrumhall field by Greg Austin, who played here long enough to know every blade of grass on it. John Vasilou then meanwhile misses, but the ball goes dead, I suppose, so we'll see the ball come back into Keighley's hands. 6 minutes on the running clock left, plus any stoppage time that the timekeepers had. Appleby on the end of that, in the shade of the stand as the sun has dropped behind us here, not taking account or not taking effect of where that ball was played, not having any effect on it. Steve Hall on the halfway line, gets up, plays onto Ramshaw. Gately again driving in, tackles some 10 metres or just short inside the Halifax half as Ramshaw gets the ball onto Appleby. Certainly not seen the penetrating runs of Appleby in this game, have we? He's tried a few occasions, but he's never really managed to get through that gap.
No, John, Halifax have done their own work. They're watching him all the time, making sure there's no gaps.
Mark Milner attempting to hand off here, but the Halifax defence certainly up to him as Pinkney gets the ball onto Dixon puts the high ball up. He's got to chase it though. It's going to go dead though. Unfortunately, the ball not bouncing favourably for Keighley on that occasion, and it just landing on the point and going straight dead. But certainly a good kick. I think Halifax fairly confident that the ball would in fact have gone dead. Schuster tackled some 15 metres from the halfway line. Steve Hall and Jason Ramshaw doing the tackling. Here's Fieldhouse, a bit high there by Joe Grimmer on Fieldhouse, but certainly Fieldhouse knows what high tackles are all about. He does plenty. As the ball going through now to Devote. Devote stepping through. He had Hallis in support, and Hallis in fact decided that he was going to have a go with Walker there rather than get back and take the ball. John Basilou, but he's offside. The man inside the 10 there, not giving the defender 10 metres. But the Keighley scrum half looked as though he may well have broken something. The stretcher being called for. Certainly in a lot of trouble there is Darren Appleby. They're looking for substitution coming back on. It'll be Carlton Farrell who I think will be coming back on for him. Always a sad sight to see when players are down like that. And the ankles, I think, being strapped together. And certainly the Keighley physio, Richard Coons, knows all about this. Very, very good physiotherapist. Saved the lad's life almost at Carlisle last week, who'd broken 3 bones in his neck. Certainly saved him from paralysis, that is for sure. And again being called in this time for a Keighley place. Let's hope it's not quite as bad as it looks. He's certainly in some pain there. The blanket wrapped round him to prevent the shock setting in and being taken straight to the corner of the field where the changing rooms and the first aid facilities are at this ground. The club doctor already making his way up the touchline side to examine him. In the meantime, it's a restart on that far side of the field, you'll remember, for the Halifax player encroaching inside the 10 metres from the kick. A couple of minutes, in fact, stopped there for that injury. So we've Steve Hall knocking on there, Halifax knocking on as well, not able to regather. We don't want unenforced errors like that. Hagan takes the ball in 30 metres from the Keighley line then. Halifax looking to set up to consolidate the position, which is still very frail at the moment. They lead by 5 points. We are actually in the last minute, or approaching the last minute of normal time, plus the stoppage, as you remember, a long one there. But Halifax now moving the ball out. A hole there for Bentley, but Bentley's in on the corner. The referee just looks to his touch judge. The try's awarded. The ball was moved quickly out there. John Basilou had very little chance at stopping John Bentley, and I think that's bye-bye to the Regal Trophy for this year for Keighley, Darrell. That putting Halifax 7 points in the clear with the, I beg your pardon, 9 points in the clear with the conversion to come.
Yeah, I think they've got it now of Halifax. Keighley's, they've had a good game really, they've done well. But like I say, what would they have done had they all been fit? Had they taken the chances they had in the first half? Certainly Mark Milner down that bottom side had a couple of good chances. I think I would take just one of those, it could have been a different result, but got to keep going now. Like you said, there's probably another 2 or 3 minutes to play. If they come back in with a try, you know, it just might shake them up a bit.
I think in all honesty though, the yes, we've got to remember Hull KR, as Darrell said as I took the mic away from him, but I think we've also got to say that whatever the scoreline finishes, it's got to flatter Halifax now. Certainly not worth the difference that the scoreline says at the moment of 19 points to 10. Certainly not worth the 9 points difference in anybody's books, and Coach Mal really left the Gantry now, but he has been going absolutely mad in the corner about the way Halifax have approached this game in the second half in particular, but certainly not pleased in the first half either. Dixon restarts then down towards that 20-metre area, inside it Devotee. Certainly Devotee is one of the players who have caused Keighley more of the problems this afternoon than anybody, Darrell. He's been probing and poking and finding the holes in the defence for the backs to follow, hasn't he?
Certainly has, John, yeah. He's found them around the play of the ball where there shouldn't be anybody. He's found them. I think that's where Keighley's been lacking a little bit, around the play of the ball. But been a good all-round performance really when you consider Halifax, the size of the squad that they have and the number of players that they've got, professionals and such. So, you know, it's a good game.
Forward pass there, no question. The referee on station to see it. And so it's a scrum down. But well deep into injuries and stoppage time now. We're already in the second minute. That ball not being fed really. It was put fairly into the middle. Greg Austin could be offside here. The referee's looking at him. I don't think he's saying anything. He is. He is, because he was marginally in front of the ball when it was kicked. And I say marginally. And I'll tell you what, there, Bentley was very lucky. He's actually applauding the referee and actually making a mockery of it there. And I think he could he should be spoken to.
Yeah, he should there. The referee told him to stop it. He's telling him again now to pack it up. You know, it's all right winding people up like that, but not in front of the referee.
I think he was applauding the referee, which doesn't help, Darrell. But play then 10 metres from the halfway line. Darrell just said, in fact, that Bentley was applauding Greg Austin for giving the penalty away. Jackson almost through there. I think, in fact, had Hallis not interfered with him, he would have got through. Inside to Hagan there, onto Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse gives the ball out. Bishop doing well to get it back to Hagan. Schuster on the far side, out to Bentley again. But well tackled there by John Walker on that bottom wing was Bentley. Out to Bishop. Bishop decides to go on his own, and it's Walker again, tackling well there. 3 minutes of stoppage time as the last tackle, and John Walker takes the ball from the kick through, but Halifax just now sitting back, allowing the seconds to tick away. I don't think they'd even be too worried if Keighley managed to score another try, because there's certainly not enough time on the clock for Keighley to come back and win this tie. But certainly they've given Halifax a run for the money this afternoon. They know they've been in a game, and you can tell there, I think, by the muted cheer that went through the crowd that the Halifax supporters are not happy. But just listen to that Keighley support there in the stand, the Cougar chant going up. They're happy with the way their players have performed this afternoon, in spite of all the odds. 19 points to 10 then the scoreline reads. The Keighley tries coming from Greg Austin and Jason Ramshaw, with just the one goal from John Basilou. Tremendous performance, Darrell, by Keighley. Very spirited under the circumstances. Certainly giving Keighley a run for the money. Halifax a run for the money. And they're going down to this stand here at the bottom end where all the Halifax supporters are, just to applaud them.
Yeah, the Keighley crowd are letting, all the players are coming out to clap them and applaud them. Supporting this, both sides, both teams coming down, applauding the fans. The fans have had a good say today. They've had a good game, plenty of atmosphere. That's what they were like.
Well, I think, in fact, the Halifax players are going down there expecting to see some of their supporters down there, but there's not too many down there, Halifax. Certainly outnumbered by Keighley, but nonetheless a very good game as far as everybody's concerned. As far as the rugby league is concerned, it's been a tremendous advert. The only perhaps dark patch on it is the injury to Darren Appleby. We have to wait and see what that injury is. We hope it's not too severe and too serious. In the meantime, it's back to league action next week. Keighley travel to Batley in their search for the second division championship. End of the game then, Keighley Cougars 10, Halifax 19.